Welcome to Front-End Web Development subject. In this video, we will learn about how do you handle dynamically created inputs using JS configs. Basically, any form handling techniques like here in this example, we created one label and input for names, another for email. What if you're not sure what kind of an form you need to be created? It has to come from your manager or depends upon the situation, it has to be modified. Then how do you create it? Creating this statically is not good enough when this situation are different. So how do you handle this dynamically creating forms? So in this video we will try to learn about that. Let me create a component called um, df dynamic form.js function df, and let's return something, and also do not forget to export default df. Let's try to create here. Let me try to divide this into the couple of steps, like setting up config, setting up a js config file, um, js config for the form, and creating a custom dynamic input components, and also how do you handle it, please. um, Dynamically create inputs based on configs or JS config there. So let's try to do this here. Let me have this part. First, let me create a separate component called dynamic input here within this. You can always export or have multiple functions in one file. There is no wrong in it. React allows us to create for us. So let me create one function called dynamic input, dynamic input, there return something. Since I'm talking about JS config, JS has to be written inside the function, outside the return. Let's try to create one JS config for us. So const JS config, or else let me call as an form config, configuration on kind of a thing, config. Let's create um, an object which is a key value pair. I would like to create name, colon name, label, colon label, or else label has to be the name, then type equals to text. Name will be in the text format. And let me also give one more attribute called required as in true, as in true. This are all object based, it's in colon, not in this part, right? So likewise, let me have one more for an email. Copy this and paste it over here. Name equals email, label equals email, type equals password, or else email, required is true. Now let's try to return this part. And since this has to be loaded implicitly, you need not make a call to that. So I would like to use this in an In use effect is one of the hook plays. You'll be learning that in the coming unit, fourth unit, where it will be loaded implicitly whenever there is a change in a component, right? As of now, just remember it's an use effect is an hook which will be loaded whenever there is a change in any component. So let me try to write this part equals this one, expects. Here it expects some dependencies. In our case, our dependency is something like initially empty. So put all this into the here. So let me cut this part here. We are trying to setting up that here, right? The first step is ready, and this has to be loaded or created dynamic input component now, right? So let me cut this part now. After this part, oh, let me have a semicolon there, creating a dynamic custom dynamic input. So to do that, const initial form data equals initially empty. So form config dot for each, iterate through each of them. We'll take an callback function. For each, let me take into the field here, FIELELD, right? So initialize that to the initialize form data. Initialize form data of field dot name. Whatever the name we pass over here, that name would come over here, please. Initially empty, right? Now this has to be, let me use an use state to hold this state. So const form data, I want this to be set up, set form data, use state. There, right? Uh, let me call upon set form data with this initial form data. That is all, please. So what all we did in this till now, we set up the config file and we are trying to um, create a custom dynamic input component for that. And whenever you call this one with according to the config which you have here, that will be trying to set it up to the use state here. And whenever you require it, you will be using that part, please. So let's try to do return something, return the form. So what I'll do in this return part, I'll try to create another component called form, which basically you will be writing a form, right? I want that to be a separate component, right? Um, let's try this form. We did not created it yet. So what shall we do? First, let us try to create the form first. Then we'll try to import that part and use it, please. So basically here, I would like to write the form, right? So now let me keep it simple as of now. Um, remove this part. Write one more component called function form, right? Um, since this is in the same file, I need not export it. So return something. So now create a form, general form. On form, um, you know, it may receive any parameters or all of them. So that I need to pass to the props, right? This has to be whatever we created here has to be passed in a props manner to this form so that it destructures that and renders that accordingly. So to do that, now let me call the form here. Form, um, form, right? So this time, let me pass the props like on submit, it has to take handle of an submit. So I need to write an functionality for an on submit. On submit, let us call upon handle submit. I did not write the functionality of it. We need to write it very soon. on submit, right? So form data, whichever we have initialized this part, has to be passed to this component. So form data equals, um, let me destructure the form data and send it to that. Similarly, whenever there is a change here, that has to be handle change, or else you can name that as an handle input change equals handle input change. Let's write functionalities for these two, please. Handle submit and handle input change. So handle submit, first of all, const handle submit. Whenever a user clicks on the submit button, I need to take that part. It's up to you what you would like to do. In this case, I would like to just log it. So event dot prevent default FAU LT, and also console.log the data. Console.log, let me call that as an form data colon, give some space, and whatever the form data we receive, that has to be shown here, right? So this is how, please. I think I forgot comma there. Now handle submit is being written. Handle input change, on any change, or if the user input something, that data has to go and sit into the form data in the state. So const, let me give some space, handle input change equals event there. Let's restructure that part. Event dot target, whatever we come there, let me destructure only the two things, name comma value, right? So set form data within previous data, whatever we have as is. It's in callback function. There, let me call this as an previous form data. Then here spread operator, as is, we should not lose that data, comma the new data which we have come up with now, colon value. I hope you are seeing that, everybody. Yeah, I need not pass that one, right? So yeah, value seems to be correct. There initially my state is something, it's empty. Now pass or everything, we have written the submit, handle submit, and handle input change. Now we passed these all three things, we need to destructure that part over here, right? So let's do that very quickly. On submit form data, directly I'm destructuring form data, yeah, form data handle input change. Let's try to use it here, please. So on submit, and the form we need to submit, right? So let me call on submit over here, and on submit I need to call this functionality which is in the parent class, parent component, right? So now the data which we have received over here, let's try to use an object dot entries on entries, object dot entries on the form data which we received over here, right? So form data, map each of them, right? So write the destructure them into the field name comma field 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 value, right? So callback function, let's try to write this part. Here form field, or else you can directly write the part directly, the input statements, whatever you would like to write over here. Input type equals, instead of writing that in the here, type equals the data which we have received here, the field name, field name, field name. In addition to that, name equals to field name. What all we have them, or value equals to the value which we received, field value. Then we should have required also is coming from it. Required equals to, initially everything true, don't worry about this part. Then on change, I need to call the functionality of an on change, which we received in a props. Handle input change, remove this comma, right? So in the form data, we are receiving this all the data which we have over here, right? And we are trying to sync this up. Let me check out on this what I'm missing. Why is it extra one? No, 1 second. I open, this is an destructuring part. Destructuring part is clear. Arrow function, this what we close this one. This one isn't written actually, so return has to come. Oh, this one should be the return. This is an object, please. Destructuring, opening this, closing this, and I forgot to close this input. That's what the problem. Now let's call upon, like form is been called in an dynamic input. Let me call this here. This already created, dynamically input created depending upon the JS config. This is what we are trying to do that here. Let me write that part here, right? So let's call upon dynamic input, copy this part, call upon that function, that one here, or else there. Oh, pardon with the spelling. There. Let's look at it. It does not show us up anything. It's not rendering the part. Let me check up. Oh, object. It's not clear part. Yeah, it's not rendering that part. Give me a sec. Dynamic input. Oh, user, we did not call this one in an app.js. What was that? df, right? Hopefully that should render now. Use effect is not defined. It seems we did not imported the use effect. Yes. Use effect. Now let's check this part. Yeah. Oh, name and that part is not been showing up. Let me check the error. Why the name is not picked up? Label. Oh, I did not mention the label actually. So let's try to mention the label as well. So for that, what I'll do here, object dot entries. Here this part, I'll write label part for that. Label HTML for the label name, field name, FIELD field name, and I need to write that field name, ELD field name, destructure that part. Don't worry about this. It seems like I'm returning more than one part. So let me write one division for this. Put this into the division here. This should be fine. There. Oh, I did not create the submit button. Let's try to create the submit button as well. Yeah. Within the form, after this part, destructuring everything, button type equals to submit. There. SUBMIT. Yeah. Main agenda here is how do you create this from the JS config instead of typing as this part. Imagine, let me create one more one more element in the JS config. So copy this, the above one. Let me take this part and paste it. This time, let me name this as an um, message label as an message, and type is equal to text area. Text area required true, right? So now if you look into this, you see that it has to come dynamically. This is what we are trying to learn, please, right? So now let's try to pass the data. Let me clear up the warnings over here. What is happening? Value prop to the form on change handler is not handled. It seems to be all the same error. Let's try to pass some data. KMI. Oh, input handler is not working correctly. Let's try to this. Okay, first thing, it's an unchange, and it's an any other changes. My name is a message here. It's a typo. Hopefully this should work. Let's heading back, clear everything, type something, KMIT, yes, some email ID, some message. Let me type some message called hello KMIT. Click on submit. There, please. This is how you can create dynamically forms using JS config. See you in the next video.